Hello, peoples. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to work on correlation and causation. So, all of you guys have probably seen correlation. If you were in my class last semester, I know that you have. Okay. There are one, two, three, four. There's like 6 types, but we're only going to do positive, negative, or none. Okay. So positive is typically when you're seeing overall the dots are all pointing going in that up direction, okay? If this is like the graph, okay? Negative is when you're gonna see them and they're all kind of heading down, and no correlation is when they're gonna be just spread out all over the place. There's not really much going on. And so these are just gonna be simply, is it positive, negative, or none? Okay, we're not, before we did like exponential, quadratic, linear, we're not doing that. So we just look at it and say, is it positive, negative, or none? Okay, so if we look at number 1, it's kind of like if you would connect the dots, but you can only make a straight line like with a ruler. So you could see that with a straight line, these are typically, they're going down, so this is going to be negative. Okay, if we look at 3, what's happening? Okay, if you try to connect as many dots as you can't connect them like this. Okay, you can only use a straight line. So if we were to do something like this, okay, there we got a straight line. So that's going to be negative. And you can see how most of the dots are somewhere around that line, and that's good. That means that's negative, okay? If we look at 5, okay, we can see there that they're all going, we drew a straight line, they're all kind of connecting, so that is going to be a positive correlation. Okay, 7, draw a line. Okay, you can see there that for the most part, from this axis to the end, they're going up. So this is going to be a positive correlation. Okay, here you can see they do kind of start here and then they kind of trail and make this shape. And I'll do it in maybe a yellow. We start and we kind of are going this way. We've talked about what that means when they start to go up and over. Okay, but in today's purposes, we're just looking at the general amount of dots. And in this case, it is positive. Oh, shoot. Okay, 11, what's going on there? Okay, 11 is going to be no correlation. Okay, so if I made a line and it's going like this, okay, well, those dots they've got some here, here, here. Okay, that does not work out. Okay, whereas if I made a line going this way, same thing, I got some here, here. No matter which way I make my straight line, they're all over the place. Okay, and so that's going to be a no correlation. Okay, 13. Okay, that's also going to be a no correlation. Oops. Okay, or if you want to put none, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. Okay. So we did all that before break. That's really nothing new. You should have seen that in 7th grade, 8th grade, earlier this year in your freshman year. Okay. Now let's talk about correlation versus causation. Okay. A correlation is when 2 things are just straight up related. Okay. So, and they can be something random or something that is typically true. And so when we think of something random, I could say bees come out when the weather's warm. Okay, now that's true for a lot of people, right? Well, what if I live in Alaska? Then that's not true. Okay, so it has to be something that's indefinitely true in order to be a causation. That means it's a cause for something else. Okay, and so So sometimes things are going to feel like it's a causation, but it's not actually a causation, okay? So you really have to read it and think about, is that an actual, like, the first thing caused the second thing to happen? Okay? So I got my sheet here, so I'm not like... Okay. The width, and I type these, and so some of them, you guys know I can't friggin' spell. The width of a person's palm and the amount of time they spend watching TV each day. Are those two indefinitely related? So, is the width of my hand going to get bigger or smaller depending on how much I watch TV? No, okay? And that's not true for everyone. But it could be true for me. Maybe the more I watch TV, my hand does get bigger. That is just going to be a correlation. Okay, and so we're going to write core. That's not a causation. A causation would have to be everyone's hand. It is a scientific fact. Everyone's hands get bigger as the more time they watch TV. And that's not true. Maybe mine does, but that does not make it true for everyone. Okay? At a grocery store, there is a negative relationship between the price of cereal and the numbers of boxes sold. Okay, take a second and think. Okay, so this one is going to be a causation. Okay, now let's think about it. If the price of the cereal cost 500 mil a box, are they going to sell a lot more boxes of cereal or a lot less? Okay, it's going to be a lot less. A lot of people cannot afford it. The majority of the people cannot afford it. Okay, so there is a relationship between the price of cereal and the number of boxes of cereal that they are sold. Okay, not everybody can afford a Lambo. It is what it is. Okay, so 19, if Allison studies, she will get an A. Okay, is that a correlation or a causation? Okay, that is going to be a correlation. Okay, first of all, we're only talking about one person. Second of all, that is a relationship. Just because Allison studies does not mean that she's going to get an A. You can study your little butt off. You can study 1,000 hours a day. That doesn't mean you're going to get an A in my class. That doesn't even mean you pass the test. You might, or you might not. You might still get an F, okay? People can go out and practice basketball every single day. Does that make them Michael Jordan? No, okay? So just because you study does not mean you will get an A. However, typically, Allison, maybe she knows if she studies, she will get an A. But that's not true for everyone. Gun control laws have reduced violent crime, okay? So I want you to think about somewhere where they have super strict gun control laws. Has their crime went down or up or what? Okay? Do gun control cause a reduce in gun violence? Okay? Okay, this one is going to be a correlation. Now, the closest city that comes to mind is Chicago. Okay, Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. Okay, has that reduced their crime rate? No. Okay, so just because you tell people not to does not mean that they're not going to do it. Okay, if we have a level 2 snow emergency, we do not have school. Okay? Think about that. Is that true? Okay? Is that true? If we have a level 2 snow emergency, we do not have school. Is that going to be a correlation or a cause? Okay? This is a cause. Because it snowed, we do not have school. Okay? This is a cause. And typically you can say that with cause. Because this first thing happened, then the second thing happened, okay? Typically if you're going to see if, because, those things, a comma, those are going to be correlation, okay? The car is on the side of the road because it ran out of gas. Okay, this one is not the best question. I'm going to say correlation. However, it could be a cause, okay? Now, I want you to think about, why could it be correlation? Well, it could be correlation because, or it could be cause. So maybe that is why my car is on the side of the road. Is that the only possibility? Is that the only reason your car is on the side of the road ever? Because you ran out of gas? Not necessarily. Maybe I have a flat tire. Maybe my engine blew. Maybe I ran over a child. Okay? Or not a child, a deer. Sorry. Okay, so I could be on the side of the road because of that. Or I could be because I ran out of gas. Okay? So either one I would accept for this. But I would say, my initial gut says, well, that's the cause, okay? It said the car is on the side of the road because I ran out of gas, okay? But the side of the road, the car's on the side of the road because I think I ran out of gas, or I think I have a flat tire. So either one of these would work. The because tells me it's probably a cause. However, because there's different reasonings, it could be correlation, okay? So you're probably not going to get all these right, but I at least want you to make an honest effort, okay? The temperature in the amount of people at the beach, okay? So the temperature in the amount of people at the beach. Okay, do you think that is a correlation or a causation? Okay, so some beaches are super cold, some beaches are super hot. Okay, typically the hotter it is, are you going to see more people at the beach or less people at the beach? Okay, the temperature does kind of cause people to be at the beach, so I'm going to say cause. Okay, the speed you drive and the amount of fuel you use. Okay, so if you drive faster, do you use more fuel? Yes, this is a cause. Okay, if you don't drive at all, you're not going to use any fuel. When it rains several inches, the water level of the lake increases. Okay, is that true? Yes, because it rained, all the rain is going to go in the lake and the lake is going to rise. Okay, this is a cause. When the amount of sugar in a quart of apple juice is reduced, there are fewer calories in each serving. Okay, is that true? Yes, the less sugar, the less calories, okay? This is a cause. I can put a lot of causes on the back. The more you attend practice, the better you will be at a sport. Okay, is this true? No, it's a correlation. Typically, you can go to practice as much as you want. If you suck at basketball, you suck at basketball. Excuse me. Okay? You can go to practice every single day. That doesn't mean you're going to get any better at basketball. Okay? Especially if you're just going to practice by yourself. Okay? People lift weights and lift weights and lift weights. It doesn't mean that they're going to be a bodybuilder. Okay? So you can go to practice as much as you want. But ultimately, some people are just really good at the sport and some people are not. Okay? You guys go through, do the other half. Do your best, okay, get done and then put it in the box. Tomorrow will be a little bit easier because on the quizzes it will straight up, you'll know if you got it right or wrong, if it's correlation or causation, okay? So I will see you guys. Text me if you need me and have a good day.